Imagine stepping outside, expecting to hear birds singing, but instead, the ground begins to shake. Each step grows louder, closer, until a 12-ton Tyrannosaurus Rex appears at the end of your street. No fences, no zoo, no escape. It sounds like science fiction, but what if it wasn't? What if the asteroid that struck Earth 66 million years ago had completely missed? Dinosaurs wouldn't have vanished. They would have kept evolving, hunting, adapting, while our earliest mammal ancestors stayed small, weak, and constantly afraid. But here's the question that changes everything. If humans somehow still evolved in that world, would we become Earth's greatest species? Or would we spend every single day hiding from creatures that had ruled the planet for millions of years? And the answer is far more terrifying than you might imagine. One tiny difference could erase the entire history of humanity. Picture the sky 66 million years ago. The asteroid races toward Earth, then misses by just a fraction of space. No global firestorms, no endless darkness, no mass extinction. The dinosaurs survive, and life continues almost unchanged. Forests stretch farther than ever, giant herbivores reshape entire continents, and every predator keeps evolving into an even more efficient hunter. Meanwhile, our tiny mammal ancestors remain trapped in the shadows, waiting for a chance that never comes. But evolution never truly stops. It only changes direction. So here's the mystery. If mammals never became Earth's rulers, could one small species still become intelligent enough to challenge the giants? Or would history forget humans before we were ever born? For millions of years, every sunrise would begin with the same challenge. Don't become breakfast. Early mammals weren't faster than dinosaurs. They weren't stronger. They couldn't win a fight. Their greatest advantage was something far more powerful: adaptability. Scientists believe mammals survived because they could hide, eat almost anything, and reproduce quickly. Imagine those survival skills improving over millions of years in a world still ruled by dinosaurs. Instead of growing larger, our ancestors might become smarter, more cooperative, and incredibly cautious. Intelligence could become their ultimate defense. But surviving is one thing. Building a civilization is something completely different. So the next question is almost impossible to ignore. Where could humans safely live when the world itself belongs to giants? Wide open grasslands would become death traps. A single roar could echo for miles, warning every creature that a giant predator was nearby. Humans would quickly learn one simple rule: stay hidden or disappear forever. The safest places might be steep mountains, rocky cliffs, and vast cave systems where enormous dinosaurs couldn't easily reach. Entire cities could grow beneath the ground, connected by tunnels instead of highways. Watchtowers wouldn't search for invading armies. They'd scan the horizon for moving shadows larger than houses. Even children would learn to recognize dinosaur calls before they learned to read. But no wall lasts forever, because some hunters wouldn't attack from the ground at all. They would come from above, and they'd be almost impossible to escape. Looking up would become a survival instinct. The sky wouldn't belong to airplanes. It would belong to giant flying predators. While movies often exaggerate them, real pterosaurs like Quetzalcoatlus stood as tall as a giraffe on the ground, with a wingspan reaching nearly 40 feet. Imagine seeing a shadow that large sweep across your neighborhood. Markets empty, streets freeze, sirens echo through every city. Even if humans invented aircraft, every flight would risk crossing paths with creatures that had mastered the skies for millions of years. But the air isn't where the greatest danger hides, because something even larger is waiting where life first began, beneath the water. Now, imagine standing on a peaceful beach. The waves roll in, the ocean looks calm. Then, the surface suddenly explodes. A mosasaurus, longer than a school bus, launches upward with jaws lined by dozens of razor-sharp teeth. Although it wasn't technically a dinosaur, it ruled ancient seas with terrifying efficiency. Swimming, fishing, or crossing the ocean could become one of the deadliest choices a human could make. Entire coastlines might be protected by massive walls, underwater sensors, and constant patrols. But here's the chilling part. The oceans would still feed the land. Every river, every lake, every shoreline could become a gateway for colossal predators. And if the sea itself wasn't safe, where could humanity ever truly feel secure? The year is 2026, but nobody leaves home without checking the dinosaur alert. It's as routine as checking the weather. Green means safe. Yellow means predators nearby. Red means stay inside. Across the country, giant sensors track every movement of creatures too dangerous to ignore. Then, one afternoon, every phone vibrates at once. Emergency warning. T-Rex detected. Seek shelter immediately. Within seconds, highways freeze, stores lock their doors, and entire neighborhoods fall silent. This isn't panic, it's survival. A full-grown Tyrannosaurus could cover surprising distances with powerful strides, and one mistake could cost hundreds of lives. But here's the chilling truth. A T-Rex isn't even the smartest hunter humans would face. Deep inside the forests, something far smaller could be even more terrifying. The forest seems peaceful. Wind moves through the trees, insects buzz. Nothing feels unusual. Then you notice something strange. Every bird stops singing. Even the wind feels silent. Experienced trackers know that silence means only one thing. A predator is already watching. You search ahead, but nothing is there. Then another sound comes from your left. Before you can react, a second movement appears behind you. That's exactly how pack hunters gained the advantage. While real velociraptors were much smaller than Hollywood often shows, other relatives were larger, faster, and incredibly agile. Intelligence, teamwork, and patience could make them one of humanity's greatest nightmares. But if dinosaurs learned to hunt together, could humans learn something even more powerful? For thousands of years, humans didn't survive because we were the strongest. We survived because we learned. Fire pushed predators away. Spears increased our reach. Then came walls, machines, and eventually technology powerful enough to reshape the planet. In a world ruled by dinosaurs, that progress would happen even faster. Cities might be surrounded by electric barriers. AI-powered drones could patrol forests before people entered them. Satellites might track migrating herds from space, warning millions before danger arrived. Humanity wouldn't try to overpower nature, we'd outthink it. But every new invention creates a new question. If technology could protect us from dinosaurs, could it also allow us to control them? Imagine driving across Texas when traffic suddenly stops, not because of an accident, but because thousands of giant herbivores are crossing the highway. Creatures larger than elephants move together like living mountains, shaking the ground with every step. Nobody honks, nobody gets out, everyone waits. Scientists know massive plant-eating dinosaurs could reshape entire landscapes simply by feeding and migrating. In this world, roads, railways, even cities would be built around their ancient roots. Every year, governments would predict these migrations the way we forecast hurricanes today. But while millions watched the giants pass peacefully, hungry predators would already be following the herd. And where the herd stopped, the hunt was about to begin. Night changes everything. As the last sunlight disappears, the forest transforms into a place where humans no longer belong. Thermal cameras scan the darkness. Motion sensors blink between the trees. Somewhere, a deep roar rolls across the valley, followed by complete silence. That's the moment experienced rangers fear the most. Most predators don't announce an attack. They wait. Imagine camping outside, hearing something circle your tent without making a sound. Every snapped branch, every slow breath could mean you're already surrounded. Humans might eventually master the daylight, but after sunset, the balance of power shifts completely. Because darkness has always favored the hunter. And tonight, you are the prey. Yet even that isn't humanity's greatest challenge. The greatest enemy might never have teeth or claws. It could be something completely invisible. Every dinosaur carried its own bacteria, parasites, and viruses, evolving for millions of years without humans. One tiny scratch, one contaminated river, one bite that barely breaks the skin could introduce diseases our immune systems had never encountered. History has shown that microscopic organisms have changed civilizations more than wars ever did. Entire cities might quarantine after a single dinosaur attack, not because of injuries, but because nobody knows what invisible threat entered the body. Humanity could build stronger walls, faster vehicles, and smarter weapons. But how do you fight an enemy you can't even see? And the answer may decide which species truly inherits Earth. Now imagine something no scientist can completely rule out. Dinosaurs didn't stop evolving. They had another 66 million years. That's far longer than the time separating the last dinosaurs from modern humans. Evolution never has a final destination. Every generation brings tiny changes, and over millions of years, those changes can transform an entire species. Some paleontologists even suggest certain dinosaurs already possessed relatively large brains for their size. So what if one lineage kept becoming smarter? Not human, but intelligent in its own way, able to solve problems, recognize patterns, maybe even communicate through complex sounds. Humanity might no longer be Earth's only thinking species. And if another intelligence looked back at us, would it see a neighbor or a rival? For centuries, humans believed intelligence would always defeat strength. History seems to prove it. We built cities, crossed oceans, landed on the moon, and connected billions of people with invisible signals. But in this alternate Earth, intelligence wouldn't replace danger. It would have to live beside it. Every bridge, every farm, every power station would exist because people earned it against a planet that never stopped fighting back. Children would grow up respecting dinosaurs the way we respect hurricanes or earthquakes, not as monsters, but as unstoppable forces of nature. Humanity could still rise, just never alone at the top. And that raises one final question. After millions of years of sharing the same world, who would truly shape Earth's future? Maybe humans would build incredible civilizations. Maybe dinosaurs would remain the undisputed rulers of the wild. Or maybe both species would survive by doing something far more difficult, adapting to each other. That's the greatest lesson hidden inside this what if. Earth's history wasn't guaranteed. One asteroid, one moment changed everything. Without it, your home, your family, even this conversation might never have existed. So here's one final question. Would you choose to live in a world where dinosaurs never went extinct? Tell us your answer in the comments below. If you enjoyed exploring impossible worlds backed by real science, don't forget to like, subscribe, and join us for the next adventure. Because next time, we're asking an even more terrifying question. What if the asteroid hit Earth today? Trust me, you won't want to miss it.